what we're talking about in Buddhism is an end to suffering, you know. And how do you do that? Well, you understand the mechanisms behind suffering, and then you interrupt the mechanisms. This is sort of how it works overall. You interrupt those mechanisms and understand them well enough, you can permanently disable them. So that's very interesting. But of course, what happens now is that from this perspective, the causes of suffering are very subtle. So they happen, I'm just sticking with the Buddhist approach for the time being. The causes of suffering happen in the mind, right? And in terms of our interpretation of things, but it happens at a really, really subtle level, and it happens really, really early on as we engage with things. I'm going to give you an example in a moment. It was a little, in a moment. Happens really early on. So in actual fact, most of us, don't really notice, say, that we're in some kind of distress until a long time after this mechanism is up and running, say in the midst of an emotion, for example. So yeah, it's not till I'm in the midst of an anger or maybe fear or sadness episode that I realize I'm in what we call psychology, we call negative affect. You know, I'm in this situation that's unpleasant. You know, so this is quite a long time. It's quite coarse, I guess. So here's the problem from the way in fact, you know what? I'll just jump. Okay, I'll jump to a slide. This is me. Right. So then I encounter an object of some kind. Okay, so here's me. I encounter an object. And then I have one of three reactions, right? Immediately. It's a positive, negative, or neutral response, right? Either I want to move closer, I want to move away, or I don't care. This is sort of it. In Buddhism, there are three feelings, you know. This is not a big hit in Byron Bay, I expect, but it's only three, you know. And this is what they are. So this is a very, very raw reaction right off the bat. So I encounter an object, I interpret it immediately, and so this happens really fast. The second moment we say in Buddhism, really fast. Encounter an object, I have a positive, negative, neutral reaction. So from a Buddhist perspective, this is the playing field, right? When you're trying to remove suffering, this is the playing field, the interaction of Corey and the object. Really, really fast. It's very, very early on. Most people will not ever develop the attention skills necessary to be aware of that moment. Very, very difficult, right? So then you start to think, okay, what we have in psychology is, to a large degree, we have people, you know, people aren't seeking out help till they're way up here, right? Until these negative feelings have led to repeated sort of emotional episodes at higher intensity and frequency, and have led on to so-called disorders or syndromes, which we have here. And so if we treat the syndromes, which I'm all for, you know, if we treat the outcomes, or we treat the symptoms, we will get some kind of result. But the actual mechanism of the anxiety is still in place. Does this make sense? Buddhism is about mechanisms. Psychology has come around to this idea without